Okay, so Desperate Words. So this has an interesting story. The name for the EP I actually had back when I was 13, when I kind of first started writing music. I had a whole catalog of stuff, and that was one of the names, one of the few names that stood out to me from that time that I really liked. Message to the People, my album title, actually also came from that time. That was kind of like the only other name from that time that I really like, that I kind of just kept in my back pocket, and I was waiting for the right opportunity to use it because I just really like the aesthetic of that. So that's where the name came from. The song was a song that I wrote a few months ago that just kind of came to me. I'm in the middle of doing all this research right now about gangster rap, and the history of gangster rap is kind of part of diving into hip hop. And specifically, I'm also looking at German gangster rap and kind of that movement and how that movement works historically and everything. And so kind of through that process, I've been listening to a lot of German gangster rap, and the sentiment and the sound, specifically Sido, who he doesn't consider himself a gangster rapper, but he's like a major rapper kind of in that world, who is my favorite German rapper. So I listen a lot to him, and he has certain songs that are really amazingly emotional, German, clean sound, really coherent lyrics, really beautiful sound. And I just love the idea of those songs and kind of how they work aesthetically. So I just always wanted to kind of write a song like that. And yeah, Dreams came to me in German. It's called Träume in German, which is German for dreams. So I wrote it in German first. And then I decided to translate it because I've never actually translated myself, and I wanted to experience that. And what was cool about it is it was the first time that I've ever really tried to write a German song that really has meaning. I wrote a German song last year that came out as my first German single. It's actually out. It's called Mit bestem Willen, with the best of intentions. And that song is written more kind of purposely comical, and it's not really so much about the meaning, it's more kind of about playing with the language and kind of throwing in some references of German in my life. It's kind of supposed to be funny, it's not really supposed to be like super powerful. So Dreams, Träume, was my first time actually writing a powerful song in German, and I've never done that before. But I really wanted to do that. I really wanted to write a song in German that will last lyrically, that really says powerful things. And I write so many powerful lyrics in English that are really deep and really dig deep into history and identity and culture. And I've never done that in German. So I actually hit up my mom for it. So she kind of helped me. I wrote it in German on my own, but then she helped me refine it grammatically because she's a German teacher. And it was really cool working kind of close with her in really making the song lyrically what it had to be, because that was probably the biggest challenge for me, was actually writing a German song that has meaning. But I have a couple reference tracks for it that are German rap songs that I kind of used as an inspiration, and they kind of helped me get the idea of like the direction I was going to go with it. What's cool too about the song is it actually came to me on a bike ride. I was thinking about it kind of during a bike ride. For me, I go on these kind of long excursions sometimes where I go like 2-3 hours where I'm just out, and that on a bike, and that kind of helps me sometimes come up with ideas and just kind of psychologically go out. And yeah, this is a song I came up with on a bike ride, which doesn't actually happen a lot in terms of like actual song concepts. I feel like sometimes like little parts of songs will come to me on bike rides, but this is a song that actually came to me on a bike ride. So the actual, like, it actually started on a bike ride, which that process is kind of unique. The chorus just came to me, and then the rest is history. I just kind of wrote the song in a few months. So the whole process is really new. The only old element of this release in any way is the name of the EP, which is 10 years old. But the song is brand new. And yeah, for the instrumental, it was really cool. I hit up my buddy Dan Forsett, who played on my last German song. He's also played on my song Moral Ground, which is on my album. And he's an amazing local musician in Santa Cruz. And I just asked him to basically give me like a sentimental guitar bass track that was going to be to a rap. That's all I told him. I didn't really tell him anything else. And I've never given him anybody really. I've never given anybody a direction like that. Let alone him. But he did it so well. And he's the kind of guy where you can give him one instruction of like just a general kind of guide, and he just comes up with something amazing. I think we went back and forth like a few times to get the right version of it, but then eventually I found it, and the instrumental is just whatever he sent me that was kind of oriented around this kind of sentimental idea. But it was perfect because I had the chorus before I hit him up, and it just happened to work perfectly rhythmically. So I would say that song is like half Dan. It really is. I mean, it would not be what it is without him. And I recorded a little vocal kind of thing after I did everything else, because I was listening back to his guitar and I was like, oh wow, I love like what he does in his melody. So there's a little part where I'm actually singing part of his melody. But Dan is amazing. He really gets a lot of credit for helping build that song the way it is. So it's historical in terms of the process of it. It's the first time that I've ever given a direction like that to somebody, where they just kind of come up with something that wasn't a chord progression that was pre-written. It was just something that the musician comes up with, and then I write to that. That specific thing has never happened before. If anything, it happened kind of the other way around in the past. But yeah, with Toyma, it was really, I did kind of partially write it to Dan and to Dan's aesthetic and his feel. So yeah, that was really cool. In terms of like translating myself, that was probably the hardest part of it overall, was trying to get the English to kind of match the sentiment of the German. It's the first time I've ever translated any lyrics I've written, like translated myself, because I wrote the German myself, but then I translated myself into English. And I hope the English holds up. I was asking my dad about it, and he, being an English teacher, is great because my mom's a German teacher and my dad's an English teacher, so they both have that kind of thing, and they're kind of my number one guinea pigs right now. But my dad said that it holds up, and that's good, because that's really what I want, is for the English to, if someone listens to the English on its own, hopefully the English will kind of withstand the test of time, and hopefully we'll be able to tell that it's a translation. And because it is, I think, rougher in parts than maybe it would be if it wasn't a translation. But one of the funnest things about this process was just kind of writing the English in a way that would really match the sentiment of the German, and just translating myself for the first time. So, just kind of finding ways to say some of the same stuff, but like in English. And my idea with this is having the German first and then the English is kind of just, it's an ode to gangster rap in general. And when you look at the history of gangster rap in Germany, it's influenced by America. So there's an American-German hybrid happening in terms of gangster rap in that world. But it's really an ode to gangster rap in general and the positive side of gangster rap, which not a lot of people think about, but just kind of the positive kind of social justice part of it, which also feeds into kind of hip-hop as a whole being a very kind of social justice oriented thing, because I'm in the middle of my hip-hop research right now. So kind of an extended kind of meaning to that too is that it kind of plays a little bit of an ode to my current research in hip-hop and stuff that I'm kind of doing. Another thing with the musically is having a beatbox track and the guitar and bass. I originally had a drum and beatbox track, and then I listened back to it and I kind of took the drums out, and I just thought, okay, it'd be kind of cool to have like beatboxing to instruments, which I haven't had before, so that's the first. And there's a couple that's kind of a new idea I'm playing with in a couple upcoming songs too. So that's exciting too. And when I recorded the beatbox, what was cool too is kind of, just stepping back and kind of recording it to Dan and letting Dan kind of do his thing in the mix. Because again, like Dan's, what he recorded was very much kind of influenced like the rest of the tracking. But yeah, without further ado, hope you guys enjoy Desperate Words, Toyma and Dreams out everywhere now. When I perform live, I probably won't be doing the German that often, depending on the setting. It's kind of cool to have like a song that I could do in both languages, but it's one song. That's the first time I've ever had one song in both languages. And yeah, it's kind of a cool process, kind of inspired me to, translate myself in that process. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy Desperate Words out everywhere now. Thank you guys so much.
Ich träumte